So, the first thing I want to say before I start this podcast is I'm super sorry if you end up hearing some air conditioning in the background and probably like chairs moving or whatnot. Because the way that my setup is put is that I have it in front of the air conditioning and I can't just like get up and magically move everything to the other side because I needed to be in this specific location to be able to fit all my streaming gear in this area. And I'm not even in an office. So it's a little tough to do everything. But anyway, I hope that you guys do not bother or do not mind the noise, if there is ever is one. But anyway, welcome to the podcast. This is going to be called Shall We Speak. Now, there's a we in the Shall We Speak, and the reason is because I plan on bringing my girlfriend into the show. I plan on bringing my best friend, probably my some family members if they ever want to end up joining. But I don't know where this is going to go at all. Like I don't know where this podcast is going to go, but this is just something that I wanted to create to be able just to talk and do anything. I mean, I've never done podcasts in my life. I did have to do one for school though, and it was like a one episode or a two episode thing. It was mostly talking about sports. And I have listen, before I say anything else, I have an obsession with sports. I love sports. I watch it. I love basketball and I'm from Miami. So obviously we got the Heat, we got the Marlins, we got the Panthers, which is a little bit higher up than Miami. But we got the Dolphins. Like I love sports. I've watched sports probably since I was about like 8 or even 9. But sports is something that's always been in my life. I played sports, and although I wasn't playing like really good or in school, I did do like little league stuff, and I loved it. And ever since sports was introduced to me, it's something that it's still in my life to this day. I still watch sports to this day. But when you're thinking about podcasting, right? You're not like I think there's different genres, and sports has its own genre. I mean, if you think about it, there's a bunch of sports podcasts, and I'm not gonna be talking about sports for like here in my on my podcast because one of the things that I wanted to do was literally everything else, and by everything else, I even mean talking about gaming. I mean, I don't know if that's something that a lot of people are interested in talking about, but I love gaming, and those are probably the two things in my life that I love the most. Don't tell my girlfriend I said that though, because I mean I love you too, babe. But at the same time, sports and gaming, one of the two things that I always want to do or watch or whatever. And I used to think when I first started, high school or maybe even middle school, that I was gonna do something in their sports field, and it never went that way. I never ended up going that route, and I don't know why, but for some reason, when I was studying in college, I stumbled upon, a bunch of content creators over on YouTube talking about wanting to create, their channels and don't ever give up on creating your channel or whatever. And I got involved into making and editing gaming videos. And I'll never forget the first time I ever started. It was something that it was weird because obviously you've never done something like for, anytime you do something for the first time, it's a little weird. But even if the videos or whatever didn't come out as you planned, they ended up becoming something that you enjoyed to do. So I think the first game I ever stumbled up, like one of the games that made me want to stream or just make content in general, was Super Mario Maker. And I'm one of the type of people that when I was a kid I had a Super Nintendo, and I ended up playing. I think my sisters had one, but they obviously gave it to me. I played it, but the game that always stuck out to me was Super Mario World, and I used to love that game. Like I used to play the hell out of Super Mario World, and I'll never forget that. I don't think I ever beat it as a kid because obviously when you're a kid, things are a little bit difficult for you. Like maybe like, damn, I can't beat that level, but you just sort of give up when you're a kid. And then when Super Mario Maker was introduced for the Wii U, I was like, man, I gotta get a Switch for this. And I'll never forget. I think I was in college. It was like my second or third year, and I told my dad, listen, bro, how about you get me a Christmas present? You haven't gotten me anything for Christmas. He's like, all right, bro, what do you want? I'm like, all right, listen, man, they got this Mario Kart 8 Switch. I mean, Wii U on sale, like for Christmas, babe. Give it to me, daddy. Please, give it to me. And he's like, I got you, bro. So he bought it for me. And I'll never forget that it arrived in a nice box, right? It was a black box. And then I went to go open it. Man just told me, you cannot open this up till Christmas Day. And I'll never forget. I think I got it in the beginning of December, like probably the first week. I could not open it till the 25th. So I was like, bro, and this is like a 20-year-old guy. Like, come on, Dad. Like, dude, what are you doing? But whatever. I ended up getting it on the 25th, opened it up, installed it, and I love Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart 8, because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I don't even want to talk about it. Mario Kart 8 was obviously another racing game that I loved, and I mostly got it for that and Super Mario Maker. So Super Mario Maker, I ended up getting it, and I don't think obviously they didn't release at the same time. I think Super Mario Maker released a little bit later, but it was like a bundle package. Like I think it was 2 years or 3 years into the Wii U's life cycle. So I ended up getting it as a gift as well from my girlfriend Raquel, and I ended up playing the hell out of it. And one of the things that was so fascinating to me was the fact that people can create levels on Mario Maker. I thought that that was fascinating because I would play Super Mario World, and then obviously you just get these regular levels. But when Super Mario, you know, when Mario Maker, sorry, came out, it was crazy. You can do so much with that game. You can fix the tracks. You can literally put enemies wherever you want. And there's even viral videos of people completing these levels that I don't know how people complete them, because after you make like, let's say that right now you want to edit a level, you yourself need to beat the level in order for you to publish the level, because it's not fair to make something and not be able to finish it. So there's people who created like levels that were insane. Like people would have to run all the way from the end of the map to the beginning and do it like 6 times, and people would still beat the level. To me, that's fascinating. And I think that my love for making, or just streaming in general, was this. I don't even know if I even introduced myself. Listen, I'm I'm 6 minutes and 40 seconds in. I don't even think I introduced myself. Well, listen, it's never too late for an introduction. But my name is Ivan, or you can call me Yoshi or Yoshi Monster, whatever you want. And welcome to the podcast. It's so late in, and I know I should have said that at the beginning, okay? But it's never too late. But anyway, I think that my love for making content started then. And then obviously as you grow older, you want to do different types of things. And I feel like maybe I might have not obviously there's so much left in my life, hopefully, but there's a lot of things that we can talk about here. I think that if anything, once you bring in other people, your subjects and whatever you want to talk about will just continue to grow. Everybody has different stories in their life, and whether it's a good story or a bad story, they're still stories. And I feel like what podcasts are meant to do is to shed some light on some subjects. Maybe they could be great, maybe they could be bad, but still try to show a different side of a person. And obviously on the podcast, I think I only ever want to do good subjects, but you never know what podcast will lead to. I think that at the same time, the podcast that I want to create is going to be something fun, hopefully, for everybody. And I think that me just talking about a little bit about how I started off on YouTube doing my own things was fun. I'll never forget that when I also first started recording, I had like an HP laptop that wasn't meant for capturing, gaming things at all. And I had like a CD player. I don't even know if you guys know, obviously, CDs, but you have a rack of CDs, and I used to put my mic on that, and then I'd have my capture card literally over, like, tangled up on my monitor, and I started sitting on the floor to first start my first video. To now think that, like, probably like 6 years later, I have a beautiful setup. I think, 2 monitors and all my consoles on the side. I think it's amazing. So little by little, I think that we'll start talking about things that we like, and this is great. I mean, I'm really, really happy that I'm doing this type of stuff, But one of the things I also want to say is that if you guys ever have any suggestions on what topics you guys want me to talk about, please let me know, because I love talking about a bunch of things. And even when I'm streaming, and I obviously do, these just chatting streams, we go on YouTube, we surf the web, we watch weird, iguanas eat up spiders or whatever it is. It's always fun to be doing these type of streams, and even just talking to people. I want to know what you guys want to talk about, what subjects you guys want to hear, and even if you guys want gaming, or you guys want any general topics like, oh, Christmas. What do you think about Christmas? Because Christmas is the best. What's your favorite season? There's a bunch of things that you can talk about in podcasts. But this is just pretty much my first ever rough draft. Well, not even a rough draft, really. If you were thinking about it, we're pretty much doing a little teaser, maybe, because podcasts are usually meant to be I don't know, 20 minutes long. I don't think ever anybody's ever made a 10-minute podcast. Actually, that I haven't listened to too much podcasts to say that. But a 10-minute podcast for now doesn't seem too bad. I think we could probably extend it and make it a lot longer. And I'm sorry also if you hear the type of thing, because on my mic, I don't have a pop filter, and I know I should have a pop filter. I think this microphone is supposed to have one internally, but I'm not even sure if it's working. Yeah, there it is. Like every time I laugh, you hear the, you know. But I hope that you guys enjoy this first podcast, and let's see where other great things take us to.